So, good afternoon, everybody, for joining us again on the Women Inspiring Network. Thank you, Harpreet, Pragati, Mansi, and Naina for joining us today. And I'm really, really glad that you all could join us. And today, our topic is wellness and burnout. And as you all know, that WIN is an inspirational storytelling platform. We keep doing different series. So, we are very, very glad that you all could have joined us. So I'm just going to ask everybody to sort of introduce yourself briefly because that's the best way you can sort of introduce yourself before we jump into our topic. So Harpreet, let me start by you. I know that I keep reading that you're considered one of the most influential people in blogging. So tell us something about yourself in 2 lines.
um, a corporate career mom who realized that I needed to spend more time with my kids, and I started blogging. And yes, that's what I do for my living now. I blog about everything to do with mommyhood and parenting and couple relationship, couple goals. That's what I think that I needed to spend more time with my kids, and I started blogging. And yes, that's what I do for my living now. I blog about everything to do with mommyhood.
Is it me or is the voice echo?
I'm echoing.
Probably live on Facebook, so that is why probably someone's Facebook is on.
Yeah. Yes, it's mine, but please go ahead.
That's what I do. Mansi.
So I would think I would introduce myself as an entrepreneur, digital media junkie, currently wanting to do a lot more yoga. Love spending time with my kids. Avid reader and podcaster, and yeah, I'm by nature a minimalist.
And Naina, please go ahead.
Hi, so I'm Naina. I am a clean beauty advocate, also a beauty influencer, an entrepreneur, a mom of a 2-year-old, and trying to make clean beauty the next big thing in India. So through our e-commerce portal, that's Vanity Wagon. So yeah, that's a little about me.
And Pragati.
Hi everyone, I'm Pragati Sureka, a clinical psychologist and an author. And I have the book Hope, which is for young children, and it talks about mental health and how to talk to children about mental health. It's been published by Scholastic, and you can see it here. I'll just share it with everyone. So all you mommy influencers, I think Harpreet has read it, so has Mansi. This is a good book to discuss about mental health with your children.
So as we all know, as a mompreneur, all of your moms and entrepreneurs, so that's a new word, and of course, donning many, many hats. So what is really burnout and how does it affect us? Mansi, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, because we discussed this conversation and I said, I don't know why, when Stuti reached out and she said, what should the conversation point be? And I was like, the elephant in the room, which nobody seems to address, which I said is burnout, right? But I would say that, Stuti, for me, it's been in a lot of peaks and troughs, simply because, I'm not a person I'm an eternal optimist. For me, life is all about positivity. And I just always say this, and everybody who's following me on Instagram will know, I just say one breath at a time, right? And I truly believe that, okay, problem hai to uska solution kya hai, right? Very simply put. So coming from that philosophy, and I think the biggest thing I would say to everybody about burnout is acknowledge it.
Accept it.
You feel it. The minute you embrace it, it becomes easier. If you resist it, it'll persist, right? So just make sure that you embrace it and address it out loud and clear. The minute, I sometimes feel that when you say to the external world versus to yourself, saying it to yourself is easy, but acknowledging it to the world is so much harder. And the minute you go out and do that, it just becomes so much easier, because there are a whole bunch of people who will judge you, and there are a whole bunch of people who say, dude, I so reckon with you, right? Just the other day, I posted a bit on my Instagram about being a mean mom. And I thought I was a mean mom. Like, I make my kids do all these bizarre hit trainings in the morning at 6 a.m. and stuff. And, they're like, Mama, why do we need to do this? All the kids in my class wake up at 8 o'clock. I was like, you know what? I'm a mean mom, and that's why you do it. And now after that piece, I just say it like it's like being Shah Rukh Khan. But no, I think the whole thing is just acknowledge it, but snap out of it.
I remember reading that. Even I was like, yeah, maybe I should also get something on the Mean Award. So what about Pragati, Harpreet? Any of you?
So nice you said it, Mansi. So my son does a lot of these classes, and all his friends also ask me, Auntie, Arhan itni class kyun karta hai, I love it that you said it, and it's right. I'm a mean mom. I'm gonna do a post on it, inspired by Mansi. I always felt that I wanted to keep him busy. All that he was doing was video games, and he was putting on so much weight. And I thought I'm gonna channelize this screen time. Aapko screen time karna hai na? Let's make it, let's make it more productive. And he's learned chess. I know what all he has learned in this lockdown because there was no other option. So I'm a mean mom, and I'm gonna channelize my son's energy much better. I love you.
Great. I love that. As a psychologist here, all I would tell you is whatever you do, whatever works. I mean, frankly, I believe in the mother's instinct, but I request every mother to laugh with her child on a regular basis. And when you are being the cool mom or the mean mom, we've all seen Grease, where we have all these actresses and looking really nice and hot. And if you remember the pink ladies from Grease, so whether you are the mean mom or not, remember to give your child a huge hug, because that's when they feel ki mama loves me, and that is what is really, really important.
Pragati, I must add there that I'm a mean mom and I'm a really funny mom, because my kids sometimes put me to bed because I crash before them. They know that the mom goofs up so many times that they know that, and I must add there that, why the hug? Because they know that the mom goofs up. So they come and tell me that, Mama, it's okay. You're only human. So the laughing becomes so much, because it's not only like you are making a mistake, you're not coming first in class, you're not doing this, you're not doing. Yahan to sab reverse hai. So that's why in my life it's kind of very settled.
And I love the way you are being candid about it, because that's what we are talking about, that as moms, you want what is best for your children, and you can't watch them self-sabotaging, from that very young age, especially with very young children below 8 or 10. So I think it's really fantastic that you're okay labeling yourself and not your child, and you balance it out.
Naina will disagree with all of us.
Attention.
Naina will disagree with
Yes, I was just going to say
she
that.
can't be a mean mom.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. You guys are so lucky you can be mean. I cannot afford to do that. I have to be nice. I have to be, always taking care of my baby, because she's not even 2 yet. She's just 1.8. And she needs my attention all the time. So I was listening to
1 day. Mean mom has to start from 1.8.
Yeah, so I am trying to do that. I just ask her to get a little things to me, like get a glass of water. So she does that, the small things. But obviously I cannot overdo it. But
like my son was my chotu when he was younger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, these tiny things, So yeah, I keep on asking her to do that. But I just want to say that this burnout is there. But as Mansi said, that you just need to embrace it and accept it, acknowledge it. You cannot fight it. So better just save the energy there and use it with your kids and to run your business or whatever work you're doing. So I think very rightly said, Mansi, just embrace it, acknowledge it, and also invest some time in yourself. Take breaks, and never get afraid to seek help. Take help from your family, your partner, whoever you can. Just go out there and seek help.
So today afternoon, my 4-year-old one is like throwing a tantrum, and she's saying, मेरा बात आप आजकल सुनते नहीं हो, सुनना चाहिए ना, नहीं तो. And I'm like, okay, because she was doing some online class, and in the middle I had to like take a call, and she's saying, you just left me, and I'm like, okay, so I had to like, so I can totally understand that.
I'll share an experience here that I really want to tell, but Mansi said I'll add to that. So when Arhan was born, Arhan was actually 4 years that time. He has just started going to school, and I always share this experience. I missed his bus at the bus stop. That day was my duty. My world came crashing down. I felt I have been the worst mom ever. My child, I know what will happen to my child. So I called my husband. I was howling. I've missed his bus, and I don't know what will happen to him. And he calmed me down, and he told me that he'll go back to school. That's all will happen, right? That's the worst that will happen. You can pick him from the next bus stop. But the worst is he'll go back to school. So you need to first calm down and stop being this one perfect mom that you're trying to be. You're not. It's okay. Let's accept it. But it stayed with me. Yes, I'm trying to be a perfect mom. For whom? For whom am I trying to be this perfect mother? So you know what I did? I went back to office the next day. I wrote, and I was trying to manage everything, like uska khana, uski meal, uska lunch maker. Everything was very, minutely. The first child, and I was going crazy, and hearing the whole world tell me. And I was a working mother, so I had all the more this whole stress of apni career ki padi hai, isko and all. So I wrote on a chart paper, I'm not a perfect mom. I'm not a perfect wife. I'm not a perfect daughter-in-law. I'm not a perfect human being. And I stuck it right there. The day I accepted it, I liberated myself. After that, I goof up. I am very cool about it. I did it. I did it. Like my son, like Mansi saying, my son tells me, Mom, iska shortcut hai laptop mein. I'm whatever iOS mein aise hota hai, Android mein ye hota hai. And I love it when he tells me something that I know and I behave as if I don't know. But I like to give him that lead and make him feel he has that power over me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well said. Well said. Now I'm going to ask something to Mansi, which is like, we are all entrepreneurs. So give us some tips, which I'm sure our viewers must be waiting, because you run one of the biggest parenting platforms in our country. How to engage our kids, especially in a scenario like Delhi, that you don't have schools anymore. Schools have been shut. They can't even cope with online classes. So of course we're doing extra classes, but some tips would be.
So, this is what I say on the platform this is what I say on the platform as well, Stuti, that one is have a structure, but don't over structure, right? Give enough space for self-exploration. Look at what are your non-negotiables and what is your core value system, right? So for us, it's important that we're eating meals together. There is XYZ amount of screen time. Screen time is not a passive babysitter. It's got to be co-consumed with family, and we eat dinner together, we eat breakfast together. The best advice I would give is, if you're a working parent, make sure your kid is aware of your calendar, your husband's calendar, and you're aware of their calendar, right? So because we're all on iOS, we all have, and even if you're not, it doesn't matter. If you have a Google Calendar, go ahead and do that. Let your kids know, right? So they know that, okay, mom's inaccessible from this time to this time. If I need something, I need to figure it out earlier. So one, that's independent. Second is for the younger ones, which are sub 3 years. What I would recommend, and what we propagate on Kids Stop Press as well, make sure that you have a structure which is matching to your calendar. So example, when you're in meetings, pick out 5 games that you would actually think that they will consume them through the day, and then make sure that they are playing that game when you're at your most critical juncture, right? So this live, I cannot be disturbed. She's occupied with something which she loves to do. The menu is designed also according to I was free for lunch, but I know that my dinner may be a little extended. So dinner is made according to my calendar. So it's a non-fussy dinner, which they will eat aram se. So I would say remove, and even when you're giving your kids, okay, these are the 5 games that we're going to play tomorrow. They're all 5 chosen out of the 8 that you want them to play, but you're giving your kid a choice. So out of these 8 games, hey, which one do you want to play tomorrow? But they're your choice. So you're not making them feel that, listen, your opinion doesn't matter. And what I typically do is I take them all out in the night before. So in the morning, we're not both waking up grumpy and arguing. Why I want to play this game? I want to play this game, right? Because the morning sets kind of the rest of the day. So I would totally say that just plan, and again, figure out what are your non-negotiables, right? And like Pragati and someone said, that make sure that you know what your ask is. I think often, whether it's business, it's work, it's personal, it's friends, we're not clear as women. What is our ask of the other person? You need your mother-in-law to help? Ask. You need your husband to pitch in? Ask. Don't expect this. And I tell this to my team all the time. Stop doing this reading between the lines. It just gets misconstrued, right? Just ask. Because sometimes the other person doesn't know what you want from them, and that creates a massive amount of confusion.
What would you like to add, Harpreet?
So what we do at home typically is, yes, now meals are together, and I love that, because I don't know this whole thing of having meal together because my husband keeps very busy. We all go to our own work, and now suddenly things have changed. Now, non-negotiables are meals together. My son was getting so consumed in his video games that I started realizing that this child is getting off family and only getting into friends. So then it became a non-negotiable of having meal together and then your friends time. So how I do it with Hanan is whenever I'm very busy, I put him into a research work. He's an IB child. So I put him into a research work where I tell him that you will research about this topic today. And Stuti, believe me, I am learning so much with him. There's so much that I didn't know in life that I've learned with him in the way his education system is. Sorry. So that's what I do. And then one thing I do more is that at night, there's something I learned from a podcast I had heard, that you need to give your child 15-20 minutes of your time every day where there is no phone, there is no expectation, there is nothing. And I would like to accept it here that when I started doing it, my daughter told me, she turned around. So I told her, let's play kitchen set. And she tells me while playing, you want a photo? I was like, no. She said, they're making tea. And she said, video? I was like, no, beta. I was taken aback that how this is a pattern that we've been, following. Then I take a video, I take a photo of her. And it made me feel so guilty that, what my daughter thought, ab mummy ye game kara rahi hai, to mama photo lengi. I said it in my life also, that I felt so guilty. And then I realized that how important is it to have that time with your child where there is no expectation. There's nothing. I'm just, your friend. I'm your, so I become this Varalika best friend of hers and we both start playing. I do same with my son. Even my son said this to me. Do you want to record this, mom? This conversation I'm having, or whatever he was watching on YouTube. He was playing a Rubik's Cube. You want to show people I solve it? I said, no, I don't want to show anything to anybody. Let's just do this.
So that's interesting. And Pragati, I wanted to ask you, how can parents help children stay calm? Like if they're throwing tantrums, some tips on health and wellness.
Please, I really need it.
No, that is actually very true. And, one or two things that we actually discount is the power of presence. Like we share most of the time, we feel that, when we are doing something with children, it has to be cataloged, whether it's on social media or whether it's just for a family group. So children feel as though they are on stage,
Performing,
they feel that they're performing and they are not monkeys. If you behave as though, sorry to use such a strong word, but they don't like to be judged, when they are older. Like my teenager tells me, look, we are clicking a photograph, but it's not going anywhere, not even on DP. See, they're old enough to negotiate with you, but younger children, they can't do anything. So what you need to do to really calm them down is give them the power of your presence. That concept of presence, that only you and I are important. And right now, unless and until our roof is on fire or somebody is literally dying, nobody else is more important. So that 15 minutes of undivided attention is going to strengthen their emotional ability and they will be very resilient. And the result is a calm child. One more thing that I recommend is daily affirmations to your child. C5, that resonates very well. In fact, you can make a game out of it with very young children. Let's say your child, Nena, is below 3. So say these 5 sentences every day. You are sunshine, you are bright, you are joyful, you are strong, and you are emotionally healthy. Now, a child who grows up hearing this for the first 5 years of life, it's very difficult to strip away their confidence or that basic sense of self-worth. Perhaps they can solve a lot of puzzles. Perhaps they are academically gifted or in sports or music, or they are not. But what will really happen is they'll be resilient. So right now where everyone is languishing, where you don't know what's happening and we are trying to do it, they become anti-fragile and completely resilient. So if you want to calm children down, firstly, you have to demonstrate. I always ask parents, who
monkey see, monkey do.
Absolutely. So who amongst you is not calm? Is it you? Is it your spouse? Is there somebody else in the house? Invariably, it's either of the parents. So if you want them to be tech detached, you have to detach. Where you may feel, okay, this is an important email. This is what I need to do. So lead by example if you need your children to be calm. And positive affirmations every single day, like daily brushing, work magic.
And
Wow.
Nana, you
Yeah.
run a clean beauty platform, Vanity
Correct.
Valley. So
Yeah.
what about, some tips on how one can pamper themselves, like what beauty? So, because if we pamper ourselves, we feel good within, that is something which translates into children. So I'd like you to throw some light on that.
Yes, correct. Absolutely correct, Stuti, there, because I feel, pampering yourself actually melts away the anxiety and stress, and you feel much happier and healthier, especially in this current situation. So it's very important to invest some time in yourself, unwind yourself, take breaks throughout the day, and, keep a check on your mental health. And indulge in some form of self-care. That could be a normal oil massage. You can just massage your oil, massage your head with some nice oil, or you could indulge in some hot shower bath with some nice essential oil put in it, or you could take a do a home spa sort of thing with some DIY natural ingredients, or some, or even having just taking a break to have some herbal tea. So basically, just take breaks throughout the day, take out time for yourself, and that will make you much healthier and happier, and that will definitely reflect on your child. I feel if you are happy from within, your kids are, generally happy. So I think that really helps. So you should take out some time for self-care, and it doesn't have to be especially some beauty routine that you're doing. It can be any form of self-care. It could be a skincare mask that you're putting on your face. So it could be anything. It could be just yoga or meditation. So, you understand that, right? So just do that, and you'll definitely see the results.
I want to share something here. Sorry. So when this lockdown started, I will tell you the girls this. I started wearing only my nightwears and tied my hair up and look like like really.
But when you actually dress up, you really lift up your mood, right?
And one of the days I had a shoot. So for that, I got up. I obviously washed, and I hate washing hair at home, but I washed my hair. I did my whole blow dried and all. And when I called up my team on a Zoom call, they were like, "Oh my God, you look so good." That's when I got it. My son told me, "Mom, it's not your," my birthday was very near then. It's not your birthday today. My husband told me, like, "What's with you?" And then I realized that why not? Why am I in lockdown and I want to look like this? I want to look good every day. So now I make that, I know what you're saying. I make that effort to look.
And it actually makes a difference. It makes a real difference.
For myself and for nobody. If I want to do my brows or even wear a lipper just for myself. Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, Mansi? How do you pamper yourself?
So for me, I completely agree with Naina. For me, me time is definitely not selfish. For me time includes my exercise, because I'm an absolute fanatic. Like if I don't exercise every day, like everybody's the weather is not very good today. Like I can see my husband and my children and my mother-in-law like exchanging eye contacts ke aaj to badal barasne wale hain. They're like, okay, why don't you just finish and then we'll chat. So I think for me it's that, and it's also it's also just making sure that so I'm not a very massage or real like what self-care is put out on social media kind of person. But I think self-care is also addressing a lot of impending emotions and conversations that you would really need to have with yourself, because the toughest conversations are, according to me, the one that you need to have with yourself. And I think that sometimes addressing that, for me, journaling is I journal morning. It means the world to me. I read every single morning. My 4:30 a.m. routine is sacrosanct. It just doesn't change. So for me, that time, and people ask me, "Are you crazy? Why do you need to wake up at that hour?" And I said, "I'm not crazy. I'm just protecting."
That's when I sleep.
So it's just, I think for me, Suti, it's about guarding my peace and whatever works for that. Because I realized that this lockdown could have really, and I was just chatting with somebody yesterday, and they said that, dude, how are you so optimistic? How are you so productive? The world needs healing today. And I said to him that, I've realized as a person who has so many different lives entwined with hers, I cannot be a volcano which is so volatile that 5 minutes I'm happy, 5 minutes I'm sad, 5 minutes I'm angry, 5 minutes I'm frustrated, 5 minutes I'm distracted. I said, I cannot afford to do that. I need to take care of my extended family, which is my team, my family, my children. I cannot afford to do that. I need to be grounded. I need to sulk for a day, sulk for 2 days, but I'm running people's homes. I can't afford to sulk for more than that much time. So I don't give that, and I need to protect my sanity. So do whatever it takes to protect that. And I mean, for some, it could be all of this. For some, it could be something else. And whatever rocks your boat.
Yeah, whatever rocks. Yeah.
So in fact, I was going to ask that question, especially in today's time, how do we all manage stress? Because as entrepreneurs and also as individuals like influencers, it is very difficult because there's a different world out there. And I mean, I don't really watch news. I just see it on my, someone must have put something on my Facebook or something. I'm reading news like that, but I've stopped watching news. And then of course there is that added stress when you're an entrepreneur. You're constantly getting calls. There have been occasions where my team has been on a call and then someone says, oh, I'm leaving because someone's passed away. I mean,
Yeah.
You're on a Zoom call with your entire team and someone's saying that, or people are COVID positive. Like it's like now you're just hearing, or you have friends and families constantly asking for cylinders or beds, or from morning till night. So how in this time should one manage stress? Like, any of you, Pragati, would you like to go first?
Yeah,
Like, what
sure.
should we do to manage our stress, which we all are feeling in any space?
One is you feel all your feelings, but that's not an invitation to get completely overwhelmed by them. Like, for example, if you get some news which is not very happy, acknowledge that I'm feeling sad. Now, then ask yourself, how would I want to deal with this sadness? If something which angers you, whether it's somebody who's misbehaved with you, where you're balancing, or somebody whose temper is afraid, it's like, okay, how am I going to deal with this anger? Sometimes what works, especially when we are living with family and all there, it's to have a punching bag. If you have a punching bag, go ahead, do some kickboxing. Otherwise, just grab a pillow and punch it. So that native aggression, feel all your feelings, but learn how to manage them. So journaling really helps. Like Mansi went to great detail to speak about it. Some kind of regular exercise helps. And like Naina said, pamper yourself. It doesn't have to be something really big. For me to put a bright shade of lipstick in the morning really works. It just brightens up the day. I have my YouTube channel, so I post daily videos. So, a lot of people have actually gotten back to tell me, here we are sitting in our pajamas and we see you putting a bright shade of lipstick and making a 1-minute video, whether on Insta or anything. It just perks up our day. It's not that you are going to go anywhere. And this, I'm talking about the initial lockdown. So now when the second lockdown happened, it's not been very difficult for me. I love expressing myself. For me, dancing works. So for stress management, expressing yourself is extremely important. Whether it's dancing, whether it's writing, whether it's some kind of gardening, express yourself on a daily basis. Music helps.
Yeah.
Again, music is a very soothing device which is available to all of us. And so address your feelings. See how your mind and body feel integrated. It could just be a nice long shower that you're taking. There is no time here on Instagram and social media. Everybody's talking about how they are taking care. And here you may be wondering, God, I have so many chores. I have office to look into. I have to cook food and I have young children. Just take that 3 minutes extra when you are showering, and just massage your face like this. Lovingly touch your 5 senses, your nose, your ears, your mouth, your skin, and your forehead. So what happens is you actually fill yourself with love. So this is one stress management technique. If you do it, you will see a lot of emotional and mental strength coming your way. So these are very easy things that one can do to manage stress. But if beyond 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you or a loved one is struggling, where either they can't get out of bed, they are sleeping too much, or they are eating too much, or not doing that, or struggling, or snapping too much, you may perhaps need to speak to a mental health practitioner, a clinical psychologist. So these symptoms can be managed. We are all languishing, like I said, but we need not, we can be probably from the 5th gear, we can be on the 4th gear. But if you're consistently on the 1st gear, or not managing to start off at all, then seek help. There are a lot of free helplines available. There are a lot of videos there, and there are a lot of professionals there offering therapy. So reach out.
Yeah. Correct.
And any recommendations on how you all are managing stress, Mansi?
Stuti, so for
Naina?
me, Yeah. So for me, what works is I meditate every morning.
Yeah.
That really calms me down. That really, really helps. I do a lot of breathing exercises every morning. So that really calms down all the anxiety and stress that I'm, going through. Then one other thing that really works for me is I disconnect from my phone. I keep my phone aside for a few hours when I'm really stressed out. When something is getting onto my nerves, I keep my phone aside for a few hours, spend time with my kid, talk to my friends, talk to my family, express myself like Pragati said, and listen to music. So these kind of things really soothe you and calm you down and help you mentally. So I think these are few things that have helped me, and I would just like to suggest them to the viewers watching us. Yeah.
Yes.
For me, it's more of speaking with my followers. So, all this while I was going all out, that oxygen cylinder, this, that,
Yeah.
passing, calling. I was doing so much of it that I was fully consumed. And then this news started coming out how people are doing black marketing. And I know people who started doing this. Yesterday, I was all shattered. I was like, I cannot believe this is happening. And, when you know of people who are doing it. So this was, I didn't know how do I even behave. I was very frustrated. So AI, for me, stories I talk to my followers, they write back, they reply. And then I call my friends. So, like deep down, your closest one, I just called and I ranted and I went on for 1 hour. I just went on and on to how I'm miserable I'm feeling, of knowing what is happening.
Let it
And
out.
then
Yeah.
I did these 10 stories where I just spoke about how I'm done with this and, how I'm going to now work around spreading happiness. Then, doing whatever I was doing till now, I'm going to change the whole game and make it a little more positive. And the kind of response I got that, we were just waiting for you to do this because all that you were doing all this while was, sharing all this news. And I was sharing those stories, those screenshots, that made me feel कि कितना जरूरी है ना कि आप लोगों से बात करो. So I don't love talking to people, be it my followers or my friends. I need to vent out. That's for me.
Mansi?
Right. So, Suti, having gone through a personal loss with COVID last time around, I must say that I have now trained myself to kind of be like that onion bulb who has many, many, many folds. Only the inner circle can really impact me or affect me. So, at some point in time, early April, I had reached a point with so many of friends and family around me because now it's hit home, right? So it really reached a point where I said that I can't. I've kind of become numb to. I wouldn't say numb, but I've said what, like I said, what do you need of me, right? Whether it was Kidstop Press, we were posting stories and requirements all along, but I kept my personal space protected, and I really emphasize on the power of routines, right? Having a routine really, really helped. And I talk about it extensively on my Instagram as well, where I say that, don't let go of your habits and routines on the stormiest of days because they will keep some sort of grounding going. And I would also say, just to add to it, that I practice a lot of gratitude. So even when I lost my dad, I came from a position of gratitude that I had two parents who were infected. Both went to the hospital, at least one came back. I had all the physical, financial, emotional resources to service that life. And, my kids supported me, my family supported, my friends supported me. So when you're in a place of gratitude, there can be no sadness, right? So that's very, very important. And like I said, I was chatting with somebody yesterday and he's like, are you oblivion to what's happening in the world? How are you staying so calm? I said, I have to just serve to the extent that I can serve, that I don't need to be impacted by that external world. If I get impacted, there are so many other people around me are getting impacted. So I would just say that, and stress, I mean, you're like Harpreet said, monkey see, monkey do. If your kids are constantly watching you, how you're performing under stress. So if you're going to give in, you're going to break down. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but if you're going to break down every single day, then you need to seek help. But you, once in a while, I mean, if I'm stressed at work, I tell them, guys, I'm stressed at work. But in many ways, Tuti, I hear you when you said, your team is out of commission, your business needs to sailboat. And just the other day, again, I shared on Instagram, everybody is protecting inner circle because somebody actually posted that if we all start protecting our inner circle and fueling that, there will be an extended inner circle that will get fueled, right? So let's all start doing that. But yes, at some point in time, I was wondering, okay, I need to run 10 homes. I need to run my home. I need to take care of friends and family who are healing. I need to serve a larger part of the community who's struggling for cylinders and this and that and whatever. But don't ask, this news is stressing me out. Address it as, okay, this is a problem. How can I fix it?
What
Because
can I
I'm
do?
becoming a solution oriented person rather than a problem oriented person.
Yes.
Today, it's
So I
more
can
about an
totally-
attitude of serving, right? It's how can I be of help? If we all go there, there's a very nice book that I came across the other day, Marshall Goldsmith, Triggers, how to become the person who I want to be. A lot of times when we talk of triggers, we're like, oh, I got triggered into reacting. But we never think about how can we trigger a Mexican wave of positivity. Like that character strength that we develop. And if somebody sees that, oh, she's calm, even I can try and be calm. She's also going through a rough time. She's lost a loved one and he's lost a loved one. How can I actually be resilient? So when we all, because we as human beings don't thrive in isolation. Each one of us affects each other. So I think one thing that we can really do is just be positive. And what helps I've seen is just smiling. See, like all 5 of us are here, everybody watching. If they see 5 people smiling, it'll just make somebody smile. And here, if we start looking stressed out, or if we start feeling as though the weight of the world is on us, we impact each other. So we really can harness smiles.
Yeah, and just to add to what Pragati said, Stuti, there was a point where I went back, and I think everybody, if you go back to your why, right? Like I know so many people because, we have digital learning modules on Kidstop Press. We support so many mom-run businesses. Everybody reached out and said, Mansi, how do we talk about buying when the world is going through so much? I said, and we actually did a video on this on KSP, and I said that, you need to run your business. You need to talk about it because every business is serving some need, right? If you stop talking, you're putting all of those women entrepreneurs, especially mom entrepreneurs, back in a back hole.
Yeah.
You're saying, hey, you know what? And they've all taken alternate career choices, right? So I would say that you would put a further hold of women population who are in the workforce even further. So like she said, you have to come from a position of saying, stop thinking of, oh my God, the world is collapsing on me. You think about a larger picture. When you think about others, you come from a position of serving.
Yes. No, I can totally relate with all of you what you've said. Like I personally do a lot of pranayam, which I've started since last year. What has kept me really going is creating the Women Inspiring Network. Last year when the news was, so we could think about strategically what to do and getting inspirational stories or talking. Like today, if I'm speaking to you all, I'm getting inspired. I forget what's there. So it's also keeping me busy. You have the other business to run, which is my communication business, but this is keeping me positive. So it's a little stress free. I can do what I want. And plus hearing positive stories also impacts us.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot of Netflix. So I think it's really, really important. And, as they say that how we feel is how people around us will feel or when they look at us. So I had a very interesting conversation with my network. I'm a part of the Dell Women Entrepreneur Network and my Fortune Network. And that's also the reason why the Women Inspiring Network took shape. But so we had a very interesting discussion last evening from people from the United States, and it's all about on women leadership. And this is something which has been going on in my mind. And they were all asking us what's really happening in India currently. They wanted to connect with us, and so one of my feelings was that yes, earlier I was a bit angry. I was also sad, and then I thought on how to put my energies more constructively. So on the Women Inspiring Network, we've started talking about be the change. So we can crib about whoever we want, but how can we be the change? So I want each of you to give me your thought, like how can we be the change? And that's a series which will continue, which will be an ongoing series where we'll get more thoughts of people. And our aim is to get 100 videos about how can we be the change of all the women leaders from different walks of life. So any of you can go first. So tell us.
What I feel is by walking my talk. I really believe very firmly in this concept of servant leadership. We have Azim Premji talking about it. We have Bill Gates talking about it. We have Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. So, a lot of times you always feel ki ye nahi hai, wo nahi hai, and we'll always have something which is lacking. Perhaps our children are not doing what we want them to. Perhaps there are some bumps in the relationship. It could be health of a loved one. There could be financial insecurity. But at the same time, see, the fact that 5 of us can sit here and actually talk, and the world is not coming crashing down, means we have something to contribute. So I really believe firmly that right now what we all need is to reach out of our comfort zones and have service as our goal. So for me, it's about walking the talk. So whether it's making videos, whether it's conducting sessions for large groups of people, writing books, because I realized there were no books on preventive mental health, especially for young children. And a child is the foundation of society for children under 7. So my one book, which has been published by Scholastic, I really want that more and more people write on kids' mental health so that we are emotionally strong and resilient.
So for me, it's about community service that I've started now. I've realized that too much happened in terms of forwarding leads. As I said, I realized, yesterday is when it stuck to me that what was this helping in, okay, I got cylinder, but what else could I do? So I realized that, so I'm coming up with these camps for elders. I think Suti, we spoke about it,
Yes.
Yoga camps for elderly ladies. Then for kids, I've already done one with a lot of kids. I'm doing another one. I'm talking to somebody in Dubai for a magic show with kids. So for me, it's all about this. I want to spread so much joy now, because now I'm realizing from 6 to 12 years is where, this wave is going to come for the third one. So I'm trying to keep them all very busy. I'm going to try my best to, serve like this. So that's what I want to do.
Naina?
Yeah, so what I feel is, by, as Mansi and Pragati also said, that spread positivity and, do what you can. Just, give support to those who need it. So as a business also, we are trying to support. We are donating a % of our sales to, Hemkund Foundation. We are encouraging people to, support. Then even through our, social media, we are trying to be as positive as we can, and, giving hope to people that this will pass. This is going to pass this time. It's just a tough time that we're dealing with. We should not crib about it. Let it pass. Just stay safe, stay indoors, take care of yourselves, get vaccinated, and this time will pass. So, the hope is there, and we're trying to keep up with that hope.
Mansi?
So first up, Naina, I was just checking you out simultaneously on Instagram, the Vanity Wagon, and I must say you're doing a fabulous job.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you.
A small business, when you're taking the leadership on supporting people and working with charities, I think it's really, really quite commendable.
Thank you.
Stuti, for me, honestly, the last 7 years has just been about empowering more women, and especially more women in entrepreneurship. And I'll tell you why, because my mom once told me, and it's kind of stayed with me, that, always make sure that you're financially independent to stand on your own 2 feet, because the minute that stops and the minute you need to depend on somebody else, your legs will not be able to take that weight. And that's exactly what kind of has hit home since I was 16 and working. And we come from a very regular, average middle class family. And, it never ever struck me what she meant. But as I am growing older, it means so much. And today, when I see people reaching out that, hey, your courses are so helpful, or Kidstop Press as a platform has really helped us, or listen, I'm stuck. Should I be talking about my business, or should I shut shop, or, whatever the case may be. I feel like I want to push those women harder, because I know when I went for a pitch presentation to one of the investors, and he said, oh, like women just raise neighborhood businesses. And I said, and then I want to say, it kind of, I just kind of made a mental note in my head and said, you know what, I will empower more neighborhood businesses. And that's what Kidstop Press has done. That's what our awards have done. And, nurturing a fraternity of over 3,000 parenting and baby care businesses is not easy. And if that's one thing that I really want to do, it's about supporting women entrepreneurship.
My God, Mansi, hearing you speak is giving me goosebumps, because, even I had decided, and I was like, okay, I'm going to take a strategic steps, how we can empower more women, from, not just entrepreneurship, but generally women
Yeah.
especially women sitting in tier 2, tier 3 cities,
Yeah.
I mean, they can all have aspirations to come. And if you have perseverance or drive in your belly, you can achieve anything what you want in life,
Yeah.
Correct.
And
Stuti, just the other day on Sunday or Saturday, I don't know. I put a picture on my personal Instagram page of a thali. Okay, it had papad, achar, some rice, and whatever other, a Gujarati mango curry, which. And I said, this is women entrepreneurship on a plate, because the pickle business in India is. I mean, we're talking about entrepreneurship being cool now, but our
Yeah.
our grandmoms have known it forever. Right?
yes.
Yeah.
So the point is that why are we so shy of admitting that we're women and we're entrepreneurs? The scale just doesn't matter. Don't think I have 500 followers, I have 50,000, I have 100,000. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it
Yeah.
really doesn't matter at the end of the day.
And
Because
yes, we are
it
all there
doesn't
to
matter
support
what.
each other. And now that we've come to the end of our session, and since it's a Women's Day special, I would want a winning message either for your mothers or on motherhood. Anything which is inspirational, either for your mothers or on being a mother yourself. Who would like to go first?
So what I feel that for me, in fact, I have a poetry book called Musings, and where I do feel out of all the roles that I play, my role as a mom gives me the greatest joy, because bringing a life into the world and actually nurturing civilization through it is my greatest joy. That's my Mother's Day quotation.
I wanted to say something similar. I wanted to say that of all that I am as a woman, giving life to my firstborn, especially, when my son was born, I was in awe of myself that, oh my God, I could reproduce as a human being. I reproduce something, and when I look at my kids today, they behave so much like me. So yes, that's one thing that it just liberated me. I felt if I can produce, I can reproduce, I can do everything possible.
Yeah.
Pata hi nahi na?
I so agree with Harpreet here. I think motherhood in itself is an achievement, and it teaches us things and makes us discover skills that we never knew we had.
We had,
So,
yeah. I used to be scared,
think-
Naina. How will I get
Yeah.
up at night to feed? I used to sleep.
Exactly.
My own thing, but God, I think it's Mother Nature. We learn
Yeah.
everything on our own.
It's like you're a cat, but when you look in the mirror, you're a lioness. You
Yes,
suddenly
yes.
a tigress or a lioness.
Absolutely.
I'll just say that I like everybody else thought that the birth of my child, and in fact I did a podcast this afternoon with a 20-year-old, and it was very interesting. She said that, what are your standout moments? And at some point in time I thought I'll say the birth of my child is my most memorable, but it's not. And the moment that's etched very clearly after is when me and my husband were putting our kids to bed one night, and we asked them, okay, so what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to be? And in a singular voice, both the girls said, we're going to run Kids Stop Press. And my husband was like, jaw dropped, and he said, nobody wants to do what daddy's doing. So, I shut the chapter on mom guilt ever since. And that word just doesn't exist in my dictionary ever. So to all the women and all the moms out there, your child is watching you. If you don't work, you don't do anything out of your life, you don't create something and think that motherhood is the only role you were meant to play. No, you were not. You were not just made to be a mother. You can do whatever. The scale, like I said,
Yeah.
just doesn't matter. But really, your kids are gonna never hate you for your kids are never gonna hate you for being a working mom.
My daughter always says, "Nah, I'm a baby Prada." I'm like, what?
So I have to share. So my mom has been the biggest supporter. She always sort of supported me, and she says you can do whatever you want. And I came from a pretty traditional family. And for the longest time, in my career, I thought having a child is going to slow me down. So I almost had my daughter after 10 years of marriage because, I was talking on women leadership. I was traveling so much across the globe, and I said I shouldn't. But the last 1 year, because we've all been working from home, and she's been my stress buster. I'm like, oh my God, if she'd not been there, I mean, the joy which she gets me,
Yeah.
like even between calls, I'll just look at her and she'll be doing something and she'll smile. Sometimes she'll come and clean.
I totally
Just
relate
come
with
into
you.
my frame, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah, she tries and comes on the frame. I know she's right now taking a nap, but so I think those are the memories, and I'm like, oh my God, she's my stress buster. And just the other day she said, Mama, was my first birthday also in lockdown? I said, no, you only had your fourth birthday in lockdown and maybe the fifth.
My daughter today asked me, Mom, will I never go out? It really broke my heart. It
Yeah.
really broke. I said, oh my God, what? Because almost 2 years of her life, she's never seen school. She doesn't know what school
Yeah.
looks like.
Yeah.
Mama, I'll never go out. I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
But the positive side to this is going to be that your kids will never wake up with a stomach ache and say, I want to bunk school.
That is true. So thank
Correct.
you so much, all of you, for joining us today. And with your support, Women Inspiring Network has had a 10 million reach because we keep collaborating with different people like Kids
Wow,
Not
lovely.
Press, sometimes INOC, sometimes Business World, and all our supporters. So we've had more than 10,000 people now on our platform on social media. And we've got like a huge so we are really, really grateful. And, all of you are coming onto our platform for the second time. So I'm really, really grateful that you could all join us today once again. So on behalf of the Women Inspiring Network, once again, I'd like to thank you and wish everybody a happy Mother's Day, which is coming.
And you go, girl. You really go, Stuti. Well
Yeah.
done.
wow, what impressions. Amazing.
That's awesome.
Bye, everyone. See you.
Very good. Thank you,
Really,
Stuti,
really
for having us.
Bye.
Yes.
It was lovely meeting you all.
Always.